Good evening. In compliance with Chapter 551, Open Meetings of the Texas Government Code, I call to order a regular voting meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Austin Independent School District for Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 6:02 p.m. A quorum of the board is physically present at Austin ISD Central Office to conduct this meeting. This meeting is being broadcast on cable channel 22 through Spectrum, Astound Broadband, and on channel 99 through AT&T Uverse. Closed captioning in English is available on these platforms for individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. Thank you. Our first item is under the President's report. There's a special energy in the air this time of year, and on behalf of the entire board, I want to say how incredibly excited we are to get this new school year started. We've had a chance to visit campuses, see the energy on the first couple of days, hear from people in our communities, and I want to say on behalf of all of us, to our students, our families, and our staff, thank you for choosing Austin ISD. Your trust, dedication, hard work, and love for our public schools are the very foundation of our community. Please know that the board is here to support you, to help you succeed, and to celebrate the incredible achievements and relationships that happen every single day in our classrooms and on our campus. Here's to a fantastic year ahead. The next item is committee reports. We've posted the written committee reports as an attachment to this item on our board docs agenda. This includes a committee report for the Board Policy Committee and the Austin Education Fund. And the next item is the superintendent's report. Superintendent Segura.
Thank you, President Boswell. Kind of similar to the President's report. I just want to take a moment and celebrate the start of an incredible 25-26 school year. Just welcome all of our teachers and bus drivers and counselors and food service workers and custodial staff and teacher assistants. I mean, the list goes on and on. Librarians. I mean, there are so many people here in this organization that contribute to the educational experience. And it's important that we kind of recognize all the work that goes into launching a successful start of the year. It was a successful start. Very, very few issues that were not, easily addressed. Obviously, there are some challenges with enrollment. We'll continue to work and get those addressed. We're able to spend the first 2 days on campuses, welcoming families, welcoming students. We visited Dobie Middle School, Guerrero Thompson Elementary School, Webb Middle School, Anderson High School, and Burnett Middle School on that first day, and it was just awesome. Seeing our students engaging with one another. Really got to see our cell phone kind of policy, in real form, and it was different. I mean, the lunch period at Burnett was awesome. Kids talking to one another, and there was a handwritten note citing, kind of back in the old school, check yes or no situation, and so that's awesome. So really, really encouraged with some of the changes that we've made, and just great to see our school communities responding the way they did. Second day, we spent time at Oak Hill. Then we went over to Crockett Early College High School, Galindo Elementary, and Zavala Elementary. Again, just spending time with students, having just a real appreciation for the work that goes into welcoming our students. And it was awesome. I mean, instruction occurring, loving environments, just everything you want to see. So we're really excited about this school year. Certainly recognize there's a lot of work ahead of us, but I couldn't be more pleased with just how we launched the school year. So just great appreciation and love to the entire school system for the great work as we kind of got to where we are today. So that's really it, President Boswell.
Great, thank you, exciting. And I will say, I hope the art of middle school note folding has not been completely lost.
I forgot that was a thing. I actually forgot totally, but I remember doing it. So yeah. You had the special fold, where you kind of tuck it in and kind of pull it out. Go back.
New art activity. Okay, we now move to public testimony for items on the consent agenda. Members of the public wishing to participate in the public testimony portion of our meeting, called a dedicated Austin ISD phone line in advance of the meeting, to sign up to speak in person or audio record their remarks. Tonight, we do not have anyone who signed up to speak in person, and we have one person who left a recorded message. And we will now play the recorded message for public testimony, so please listen carefully.
This is Sharon Vane, and I'm the parent of 2 AISD grads. I'm speaking tonight on agenda items 12.3 and 14.1. First, I want to thank you for adopting the least restrictive version of this onerous new requirement for approval of library book acquisitions. We do not need to create a library review panel. Parents have always had the ability to set boundaries for their own children's reading. We don't need to create a new way for baseless complaints fueled by the far right to distract our district and chip away at students' right to read. Second, I see you'll be voting on a Lone Star Governance self-evaluation instrument. I repeat, the community deserves to know where we are in the process and when LSG will exit. I appreciated hearing in the last meeting that we are close to being done with the agreed order's special education requirements. What is our time frame for being done with LSG monitoring and coaching? The community wants to know. Thank you.
Thank you to our caller. This concludes public testimony. Trustees, are there any questions or clarifications? Trustee Quintana.
Yeah, I would like to know when we are going to have an update on where we are in the whole LSG process and what that timeline looks like, if that's possible.
Certainly, we can provide an update at the next information session. We'll meet with our coach and our board officers and kind of lay out what that could look like, but certainly happy to share an overall update kind of where we are and kind of what the next couple months have in store for us. Happy to do it.
And we received our monthly update. We get a monthly update written and shared with the district from the TEA monitors and our Lone Star Governance coach that lays out each item in the agreed order and kind of where we are on track, off track, completed.
Is that public?
And that is not shared with the public, but it has been shared with the trustees. I think it is emailed to the president and the superintendent. And I think our board council can share it with every trustee. I think it just came today for July. Yeah, thank you. And that offers some information as well. Thank you. And I also believe our coach is going to be sending something through our lawyer to all of us kind of with some information about what we've done to date. So thank you. Okay, any additional questions? All right, as a reminder, please feel free to share any general comments or questions on non-voting items with the board by email at trustees@austinisd.org. And we will now move to the consent agenda. The administration has asked us to pull consent item 12.1, the 2025-2026 Student Success Guide, formerly known as the Student Code of Conduct Amendments, for a separate vote. And Superintendent Segura, would you like to give us a little more information about this?
Yes, President Boswell, thank you. The administration, we wanted to pull this item for a separate vote to bring attention to a change that was made earlier today. While the administration posted the correct version of the Student Success Guide for the August 14th Board Information Session, an older version without the latest proposed amendments was posted for the voting meeting. And so we wanted to be transparent and just communicate that kind of that misstep. And so we wanted to be transparent with the community in case they had downloaded and viewed the older version between Monday and earlier this afternoon. And so happy to answer any questions around that. It's weird. Happy to answer any questions around that, but that's what that is.
Thank you very much for that, and thank you for pulling it for separate vote for transparency for our public. I appreciate the chance to really flag that for people, especially because there are changes that have consequences for our students, and making sure people understand what that is helpful. So thank you so much for that. Trustees, are there, and we can wait until we make a motion and ask questions at that point, if that works for everybody. Trustees, are there any other consent items anyone would like to pull for a separate vote? All right. I think there was a request before the meeting to pull one, which is, let me go back, the 12.2. So Trustee Hunter, do you want to pull 12.2 for a separate vote? Okay, so Trustee Hunter has pulled 12.2. That's student conduct, FNC local. It's under policy, student conduct, personal communications devices, and electronic devices. So we will also pull that for a separate vote. Okay, Secretary Gonzalez, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, I move to approve consent agenda item 7.1, items 8.1 through 8.9, item 9.1 and 9.2, item 10.1 through 10.6, 11.1 through 11.3, 12.1, 12.3 through 12.5.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And it's not, it's, sorry, 12.3 through 12.5, right? I just want to get it, make sure I have it written down because I have to repeat it. Thank you, Trustee Quintana, for your second. Trustees, is there any discussion on any of these consent items?
Trustee Kaufman.
Oh, hi, Trustee Kaufman.
Good evening. I just wanted to take a moment for item 12.5 to just voice my appreciation for the policy committee and for the board for considering improvements to our water safety policies to ensure that our students are safe in school field trips involving water. I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And for the public who didn't hear our meeting last week, state law requires permission slips for water activities for students up to 12. We've added that for any student of any age to ensure that we're really covering all of our students. So thank you for that. Any additional discussion of any of these items? I think my only point of discussion is on 12.3 EFB local, the instructional resources and library materials. I would still love to consider getting an understanding of what our District of Innovation might allow and of what the process of that and the timeline of that might be.
Yes, President Boswell, and since the information session, I know Edna Butts and General Counsel have gotten together to kind of lay out a plan. We're going to have to bring the District of Innovation Committee back together for this calendar year, for this school year. We'll go through that process, create a timeline, but we'll bring that forward to the board in a relatively short period of time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the work to move forward on that. Thank you. And I'll look forward to seeing what they recommend to us. Thank you. All right, any further discussion? All right, having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez and a second by Trustee Quintana to approve consent agenda items 7.1, 8.1 through 8.9, 9.1 and 9.2, 10.1 through 10.6, 11.1 through 11.3, and 12.3 to 12.5. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais plus Trustee Kaufman joining us remotely. Thank you. So we will now move to items pulled from the agenda. The first is item 12.1, the Student Success Guide. Do we have a motion to approve that item?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I have a question.
Oh, yes. Hi, Trustee Kaufman.
Hello again. So I just have heard constituent concerns about the identification of the CBC contact in the Code of Conduct. Can you clarify how the CBC contact is being identified within that code and whether there are any concerns about that not being in compliance with the state law?
And specifically, that was about not having phone numbers, correct?
I have not delved into the specifics. I just want to ensure that the code is being followed.
Thank you.
Hey, we're in the process of collecting the phone numbers for CBC contacts, and we'll be posting them on school websites, according to code.
And with that, then it would be fully in compliance?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All right, having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez and a second by Trustee Quintana to approve item 12.1. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais, plus Trustee Kaufman joining us remotely. Thank you. Next is agenda item 12.2, FNCE local, student conduct, personal communication devices, and electronic devices. Do I have a motion to approve item 12.2?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez, a second by Trustee Quintana to approve item 12.2, FNC local, student conduct, personal communication devices, and electronic devices. Is there any discussion? Trustee Hunter.
Thank you. Being on the policy committee, we got to look at this and bring, again, the least restrictive version of this policy, which is mandated by the Texas legislature. It is the law. And so we have come and found a way for our students to do it. Unintended consequences, I've been talking with teachers and other groups, and I think it may actually inadvertently create a hardship for districts. So I know that especially at arts academies, teachers will say, take out your phone, we're gonna videotape, blah, blah, blah. In order to do that now, there would have to be cameras for each one of those students. That's a cost, or the teachers would just not be able to do that. This week, I watched teachers on the first day of school say, oh, you don't have your schedule? Here, I'll put it on my computer, take a picture that you'll never be able to look at again. And so I think that we as a society and as a school district, we will have to shift. I also, that's where I'm coming from as a board member. As a parent who was texted twice last year in 2 weeks, 1 week and then the following week, I'm okay. Do you know why there's a helicopter and lots of police outside my school? I think in a country where the second largest killer of children behind car accidents is gun violence while they're learning is something we need to think about as a society and what our priorities are, because I don't believe the state of Texas has met that. And as a board, we're gonna meet that, but again, we have done the least restrictive version of that, and I appreciate the policy committee and the board and everybody else and the parents who are trying to, get through it and make their way. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have additional discussion on this item? Trustee Kaufman.
Yes, and so when we're reading the policy as written, it specifies personal communication devices. The guidance that has been given to families and schools indicates a more specific definition of what communication devices and personal electronic devices includes. Am I reading that correctly? That the policy that we're voting on today uses the generic language of personal communication devices or other personal electronic devices, and the guidance to campuses is where the specific items are listed. Is that correct?
Edna's coming up to.
You're correct. The policy itself does not specify the specific items. It does refer to the overall personal communication devices. The statute itself does include cell phones, smart watches, et cetera, but the policy itself does not. I believe that the communications team has what they're putting out there does actually have pictures of the devices that are prohibited. And maybe Ally can speak to that. But the ones that I've seen do have pictures of the actual devices that are prohibited.
Okay, so at this moment, I'm using Air things to be able to listen to this meeting without being distracted by the activity around me. And so, but at this point, if I understand correctly, the guidance to campuses and our implementation of this policy would ban the use of these in schools. But given what Trustee Hunter said about unintended consequences, if we determine that that level of definition of like earphones or et cetera being included in our implementation of the policy, that would be something that the administration would be able to pivot on and make changes to without, within the current policy. Is that correct?
So the policy would not list the specific types of devices, but the student success guide, which is kind of a companion to, does list it. And changes to the student success guide would require board approval.
Okay, so, but the particular policy we're voting on now is ambivalent about AirPods and earphones, right?
That is correct, but the student success guide also being voted would list out smartwatch, headphones, earbuds, other electronic devices during the entirety of the school day.
Okay. So just to clarify then, so if the district decides that there are unintended consequences to that are not serving the purpose of this policy, then the administration could bring a revised student success guide to the board, or could make that change for next year within this current policy.
If it complies with the law, yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would suggest that also the legislature sometimes does respond to legislation that has unintended consequences when, districts kind of make note of that and things that are broadly held. And so that's another opportunity as an intergovernmental relations committee that we could have in adopting priorities for our next legislative session. And Chair Quintana can help us lead that work. And I know we've heard, I heard just anecdotally yesterday, a coach for a sport sent a remind by text to students and not to go to practice here, to go there, and the students all went where they thought they should go. And so there are some adjustments that'll need to be made. And I know we've heard from some high school students who have been taking notes on tablets with a stylus for many years, and that's how they organize their notes and their thoughts. And so I think it'll be interesting to kind of gather this statewide and find out if there are modifications that we might consider proposing as well. So thank you. Any further discussion? All right, having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez, a second by Trustee Quintana to approve item 12.2. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Thank you. The motion passes with 6 in favor and 1 abstaining. Trustee Hunter, thank you. Okay, we will now move to abstention items for a separate vote. Secretary Gonzalez, do we have a motion to approve item 13.1?
Yes, I move. We approve item 13.1, approval of an interlocal cooperation contract between the University of Texas at Austin and Austin ISD to provide cybersecurity and monitoring.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Trustees, any discussion? Having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez, a second by Trustee Quintana to approve item 13.1. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Any abstaining? And we have 5 in favor, none opposed, and 2 abstaining. That would be Trustee Foster and Trustee Kaufman. Thank you. Okay, we have another item for a separate vote. We have agenda item 14.1. To consider and possibly take action on our Lone Star Governance quarterly and yearly evaluation. And tonight we will be holding a discussion about the results of that evaluation conducted using the Lone Star Governance Integrity Instrument. We do this every quarter. And at the October voting meeting, we will be discussing a yearly evaluation. And this time during our meeting falls under the heading Progress and Accountability, and will be classified under a new time use rubric. This is called High Leverage Adult Focused Time in a modified Lone Star Governance Time Use Tracker. And I believe we have our coach, Ashley Paz, joining us remotely to discuss. So Secretary Gonzalez. We're going to discuss it, and then we're going to take up motions. So I first want to thank I think every single trustee completed this time. Ashley, thank you for offering support to people who had questions and offering that guidance. Thank you to staff for helping to share and gather so we could all put that together. And I think Ashley has kind of looked at all of it, and I think kind of the general consensus and the calibration that I did on a phone call with Ashley were within 1 point of each other. And I think the only discrepancy was whether we evaluate the superintendent solely based on the scorecard or use additional measures. And we use some additional measures as well. Scorecard is certainly a big part of what we do, but it's not the only thing we do. So I think that was a small difference in scoring. So do we have discussion on this item? Oh, Trustee Kaufman, thank you.
I would just like to ask, could we use this moment to address some of the question that Trustee Quintana asked after the public comment, just to address our progress on this area in terms of the agreement?
I think we probably can. I think our coach is here, and I think that's one thing we can address. So, Ashley, are you with us?
I am. It's good to see everyone tonight. And I also want to echo just a gratitude for all of the board members for having everyone turned in and completed the self-evaluation. So thank you so much for doing that. So in regard to the question about how much longer should the board have to implement Lone Star governance, and how, I think there's also a question about how much longer for the order.
And
Is that accurate? Go ahead. Yeah.
To clarify, what I'm asking isn't necessarily a timeline as much as just what does this say about our progress in terms of Lone Star governance? I'm not asking for a timeline or for a potential date of separation.
Okay, and I'm glad that you clarified, Dr. Kaufman, because I actually can answer your question. Any questions related to how much longer for the order, how much longer the agency is going to require, just the monitoring and the implementation of LSG. I don't know, because I don't work for the agency. I'm just I'm here to help guide you through the implementation of the framework. So with that said, the expectation for that has been put in the order for the board is that you implement the Lone Star governance framework up to the point of what is identified as meets focus. And so with TEA, they have given an actual threshold for that, which is 60 points. So 60 points is meets focus, 80 points is master's focus. And so this board has been at that meets focus level since April of last year. So April 2024. And so the expectation was to get there and then to sustain that for 4 quarters. And so that has been done. The board has, you have had 4 quarters of your self-evaluations where you have been at that meets focus level. The next step was for me as your coach to calibrate with a representative from the agency, and we just completed our calibration. And that is actually what President Boswell was referring to with the message that I am sharing with the board through your attorney. Sending it through that way because it's related to the order, and I'd like you all to be able to get advice from your attorney in that. So, so once you all receive that document, I am more than happy to visit with you all, any of you individually, or to join the board at a future date to talk about those details and what the next steps would look like. Essentially, there are just a couple of items that they flagged for just refinement, but they're not going to make you go back. They're not going to say, no, these things are not going to count toward from your previous self-evaluations, but for your next quarter. So let's get them essentially, like, in the spirit of continuous improvement. Here are some areas to refine by the end of the next quarter, which would be in September.
Thank you, Trustee Kaufman. Is that helpful?
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional conversation or questions? Trustee Foster.
So it's wonderful that we've been basically hovering between meets focus and masters for, several quarters now. Getting to there's 9 areas that we're focusing on, then there is these master's focus, and hitting all the things in master's focus is really difficult. But we're actually, across the board, really close on all of the meets focus in the 9 areas. The one where we fell off, according to the last, according to this document, Actually, I'm looking at, I thought I was looking at an aggregate, but I'm actually looking at one trustees. But I would like to ask about the board, rather than the superintendent, led the completion of Lone Star governance tasks. And I'd like to understand a little bit more about how we determine that, and if that is one of the sort of micro areas of concern, and really between, I guess, the president and the superintendent, what's our sense on how we're doing there, and what can we do to improve if needed?
Yeah, I think that's something Ashley's been talking with us about, and one of the things has to do with the time tracking about, how different types of time qualify. And Secretary Gonzalez has stepped in to start doing that work as a board. Dr. Reach had been doing that. I know that Joshua Jan's been helping us with that. I know that Ashley has also been doing that. And so work is being done to have all three people work on that together and do some calibration and kind of cross-checking, and for us to begin taking ownership of that. And that is one of the major things left that we haven't been doing ourselves. It's hard to be in a meeting and tracking your time, but Lone Star Governance now also requires timestamps on agendas for time, and so that's something we're going to be moving into managing ourselves. And a lot of the other Lone Star Governance work, we are very much managing ourselves. Keeping the calendars, doing that. And then there's some things that are really collaborative efforts. We're making changes to our board monitoring calendar. We will be approving that and supporting the administration's work, but the administration also has information we don't about the cadence that works for the staff, the cadence on when the data comes in, and so that's a collaborative effort as well. And Ashley, do you have other things to add about that? Kind of what will get us to the point where we can say a complete yes to that one?
Yeah, you were actually spot on, President Boswell. The big things is, the big thing is that the board managed the majority of the processes related to the implementation of LSG where the board has the ability. And so that's going to be primarily around like you mentioned, the time use evaluation and like, so for example, in your self-evaluation, the board office has really done a lot of the heavy lift on that in the past. And that's great. It is more effective when it's the actual board who is managing those processes and just having those communications to the degree possible while not violating the Open Meetings Act. But essentially, with regard to time use, with regard to your self-evaluation and the other handful of tasks, when it's the board who is engaging those, that means that you're more likely to actually spend time with those documents, reflect on them, and actually be aware of, for example, like what is causing, where your time use is, what is the division of that, not just on a quarterly basis, but on an ongoing month-to-month basis.
Thank you, that's super helpful.
Thank you. Additional questions or comments? I have a couple, which is on Vision and Goals 2 and Vision and Goals 4, and also Vision and Goals 3, and also on Vision and Goals 1, all the Vision and Goals. There are questions that say the board and superintendent agree that there's broad community ownership of the goal progress measures, the constraint progress measures, of the pieces of that we have adopted. And we have checked yes to that in the past because we did our two-way community engagement. We went out and worked with the community, and I'm wondering why. I thought when we calibrated that we had said yes to those, and I'm wondering why that has fallen off. I'd love more information about that.
Those should be, so all of those should be checked in the affirmative.
Okay. So that would take us from 66 to at least 69.
Yeah, so the score that I have.
71. So we may
so
have
the-
the wrong attachment.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Okay, the attachment I have shows us at 66 points, and I thought we were higher than that.
Yeah, you should be at 74 points.
Yeah, that's what I had thought we were at. So I think we're looking at the wrong attachment. So I'm wondering if we can get the right one in front of us so we know that we're voting on the right thing. And I want to be sure I'm looking at the right document. Yeah, is anyone seeing something I'm not seeing?
No, I've got 66 also.
Okay, so it's the wrong document. Okay. And as a question, as we're working to get the right document, are we comfortable voting on the document tonight?
They can get the right one.
If we can replace it with the correct one and have the correct information? Okay, thank you.
Could we maybe table this for after?
Yeah, do you want to table it and come back?
Yes, I think that's good.
I think that's a great idea. Okay, thank you, perfect.
Yeah, see if you can drive.
What's that, trustee Kaufman? Oh, yes. Oh, got it. Okay, what we have next is a closed session. We have some student transfer appeals. Maybe we can go decide those, come back, vote on those in open session and take care of this in open session. Does that work for everybody? Okay, thank you. Excellent, thank you. Ashley, does that work for you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, perfect. Do you want us to call you when we're coming back? Or you just?
That'll work.
Okay, perfect. We will give you a call when we are on our way back. So we will now recess the open meeting at 6:39 PM and move to executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.074, 551.072, 551.073, 551.087, 551.076, 551.0821, and 551.071. When we finish with the executive session, we'll briefly return to the open session to take action on the transfer appeal and to formally adjourn the meeting. The adjournment will be recorded and included into all replays of tonight's meeting. Thank you for joining us and have a good evening. Oh, no, not yet. We'll be back. Forget about the, yes. We will briefly return to the open session to take action on the transfer appeal. We'll get back with that. Yeah, thank you very much.
What's your name tag?
Welcome back. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are returning to our open session at 6:52 PM. We are still discussing item 14.1, our Lone Star Governance self-evaluation. The correct document has been posted in board docs. You can look for the Austin ISD Quarterly Progress Tracker marked August 2025 final. Thank you to everyone who helped get that up. And make sure we're talking about the correct document. That is important. So looking at the correct document, which has a score of 74, which is, we are up 5 points from last time and up 14 points above the meets level, which is what we've been required to achieve and meet for at least 4 consecutive quarters. And I believe this is our 7th quarter. I believe. So we are 14 points above where we are minimum and 3 quarters ahead of the minimum that we were required to meet. So well done, everyone. I know it's taken a lot of work. So any further questions now that we're looking at the correct final, hello, Trustee Singh. Now that we're looking at the correct final document, do we have any additional questions or discussion? All right. So Secretary Gonzalez, do we have a motion to approve item 14.1?
Yes, I move to approve item 14.1, LSG quarterly self-evaluation.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Trustees, any discussion before we vote? All right, having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez, a second by Trustee Quintana to approve item 14.1. All in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all on the dais, 8 trustees. And now we will move to our student transfer appeals. Let me get to the place in our script. Okay, we are in open session and we are considering agenda item 17.1. That's the transfer appeal on behalf of SM. Do we have a motion on that agenda item?
Yes, I move to affirm the decision of the superintendent and to deny the relief requested.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All right, having a motion by Secretary Gonzalez, a second by Vice President Whitley Chu. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And the motion passes by all those on the dais. Thank you very much. All right, now we will recess the open meeting again at 6:55 p.m. and move to executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.074. And Ashley, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and we will see you again soon, I'm sure. So thank you for your help and your support while we all navigated this together. Thank you. Okay, so we're recessing the open meeting, moving to executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Sections 551.074, 551.072, 551.073, 551.087, 551.076, 551.0821, and 551.071. And when we are finished with the executive session, we will return to the open session to formally adjourn the meeting. And that adjournment will be recorded and included in all replays of tonight's meeting. Thank you all for joining us and have a good evening. We will now reconvene the open meeting at 9:24 p.m. Secretary Gonzalez, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? I'm sorry to startle you. Thank you. The meeting is adjourned at 9:25 p.m. Thank you all.